Hey, welcome back to the Dr. Jimbo Love Show featuring Seth Matthew. We have just an awesome game that we saw last night.
No, it was a matchup, probably one of the best in college hockey this year.
It really was, and it was a nationally televised game. CBS was there. They were one booth over from us up in the press box. Had a chance to talk to some of the gentlemen. They were happy to be there, and they got their money's worth. They couldn't stop talking about it after the game. There were 50 shots by DU on goal, and of course the score was 8-5. DU coming back from a 3-0 deficit, and it was just an amazing game.
Yeah.
Seth, we were in awe.
Yeah, it was really good to see St. Cloud State. Obviously been a really great program over the last couple of years, but the real big thing what went into this, and what I said at the pregame, was penalties were going to play a factor. Who's going to get the penalties and who's going to leave themselves exposed.
Yes, sir.
St. Cloud State came out right away, got a couple good bounces, started the first period up 3-0. And then all of a sudden a 5-minute major happens for them. Denver gets right back in it, gets 3-2. And you know what? It was just a lot of penalties for St. Cloud State that pretty much put them on their heels the rest of the way.
Yeah, in the first period, there was a couple scuffles, and DU players jumped right on it. The refs did a great job breaking up the fight. Funny thing was, there wasn't many scuffles in the second and third period.
Yeah, a couple
There
big
really
hits
wasn't.
here and there. There were
Yeah.
a lot of questionable things that they had to go. We actually got a ride in the elevator with the people that make the VAR calls in for the DU
That's
SSU
right.
game.
That's
they
right.
were called upon at least 2 to 3 times
Yep.
to check for illegal contact. To
Those
them.
guys were nice guys,
Yeah,
actually.
really nice.
I had a chance to see them in between periods, and they were just down the way from us. And, they're good guys. Really,
Yeah.
It was a great experience. I mean, we want to thank University of Denver and the athletic department, specifically Angel Fields and Ron, who just were so accommodating to us. They got us credentials. They put us really almost at center ice. And we were standing basically right next to a gentleman who was doing the broadcast on the campus radio station, which brought a lot of memories back for me, because that's where I got my start on the radio, was at Mansfield University on WNTE with Freddie Coleman from ESPN. He and I and a bunch of other guys there were just banging out as many games as we possibly could in the late 80s.
That's awesome. But yeah, I mean, today's a new day. St. Cloud State probably gonna be a little disappointed with how the game turned out, especially with that first period. Whenever you start a game up 3-0, you kind of feel like you're on track, game's gonna go your way. But DU's young team,
Carter
Savoy,
he had 2 goals in that 5-minute major that brought the score from 3-0 to 3-2.
yeah, and that's a complete game changer. You have a little bit of a comfortable lead, and it's taken away.
Yes.
I believe the Pioneers had the lead going into the third, and they didn't look back. The bright spots for St. Cloud State is, even though that they may have lost the game, they showed that they can score on this really talented Denver
Goalie.
Yeah, he's one of the best in the league.
Oh my goodness, he had a rough night, and I was watching him, while he was in his box, and he knew it. You know, this guy's he's going to be probably a finalist if he doesn't win the Ritchie
Yeah, the
Best
Mike
Goalie
Richard
Award.
Yeah, and I mean,
so you could see him. He was mad.
Yeah, and I mean, not all his fault. If you got to see the first period, 2 of those goals were just really just unfortunate bounces for DU. So, some things that you just can't change. I believe on the first one of his own players knocked it out. It was a great defensive play, but it landed on a St. Cloud State stick, and it was just tapped in.
Yeah.
Got to give a shout out to the St. Cloud State player. His name is, I want to say it's Cornella. Ended up probably making the goal of the game. So Denver had some amazing goals. They played well as a team, but the individual effort from, I believe he's a sophomore on their team. He brought it down, went through everybody, and scored a goal.
Yeah.
It was probably one of the most talented goals I've seen in a while.
Well, what I couldn't get over, Seth, was just the absolute speed and the puck handling ability from both squads.
Yeah.
These kids, I'm telling you, folks, if you have nothing going on tonight get down to Magnus Arena on the campus of University of Denver. Okay, it's at University and I-25. You can see the interstate from the steps of the stadium. I am telling you, these kids skate, handle the puck as good as I've seen in the NHL.
Yeah, and I think the big thing with the Pioneers here is they've been able to dominate for quite a while now. They haven't had a loss in, I believe, about 7 to 8 games. But the real big thing that they had going was they have the puck probably 70% of the time. They're averaging anywhere from 45 to 50 shots a game. And when you're getting those types of shots, you can go to any pro game. I guarantee you might see 30.
Right.
But this Denver team is getting it to the net over and over again. And you know what? Goalies aren't perfect. Eventually they're going to get their goals, and that's why they're one of the highest scoring teams in all of
Well,
college
the other
hockey.
thing is we talk about this in basketball. When there's a loose ball, the team that's the most hungry will be the one that gets the ball. It's called a loose ball. And what I saw last night was Denver, especially the second and third period, anytime there was a loose puck, anytime there was a mishandling by St. Cloud State, DU was on it. And those kids close on a puck faster than I've seen anybody close on a puck in a lot of years.
Yeah, they
I mean,
weren't
it
afraid
was
to get dirty in the
unbelievable.
corners. They definitely were taking the physical game to St. Cloud State after the first period. I saw St. Cloud State come out, and they were definitely taking the body, trying to slow DU down. But you know what? Second, third period happened, and they switched the way they were doing it, and Denver was really taking it to St. Cloud State the rest of the way.
Yeah. Yep, everything changed again in that 5-minute major. Carter Savoy, a sophomore, he is my new favorite player for DU. That kid, not only is he an incredible, he has great puck awareness, he can handle the puck, but he's tough as nails. He jacked this kid up at center ice, checked him into the board so loudly, I thought the kid was going to die. It was unbelievable. And he's not a big guy. He just uses his momentum, and he's so fast on the ice that his momentum just carries him, and he hits like a freight train.
Yeah, and this is just kind of a repeat for St. Cloud State. They had their series against North Dakota the previous week. They lost 7-0.
Wow.
Yeah, the next day, game 2, which is what we're going to go in for the DU game, it was 3-3 and they lost in overtime. So expect this one to be a lot closer. Not only did the 5-minute major hurt St. Cloud State, but Easton Brzezinski was out for over 10 minutes with a major, and he had to sit there, and he's one of the top offensive forces on the St. Cloud State team. So look for them to be a little bit more disciplined. I wouldn't expect an 8-5 game. What I'm really thinking is going to be somewhere in the 4-2, maybe 3-2 range tonight. Yeah. And you know what? Depending on the bounces, can't really tell you who's going to win because these are just two amazing teams.
Right, and we got to remember, I feel a little cheated only because we've got two of the best players from St. Cloud State University that are on the Olympic team.
Yeah,
and their head coach.
And not to lay any blame on Meyer, one of the goals that really kind of took it away once DU came back was when they were on a power play. Meyer's on the penalty kill, and he fell. And it created a 2-on-1, and Denver ended up scoring. Big thing is, I don't think Nick would have done the same thing. I don't think he falls there, and I think we're in a closer game at the end. But you know what? Hockey's an unpredictable game. The slightest mistake, the craziest fall, maybe caught an edge on the ice, can really alter the course of the game.
Yeah, but I'm excited about tonight. I'll be honest with you folks, this was the first DU hockey game that I had seen since 2014. I've been away for 7 seasons, and I was absolutely kicking myself last night. Who knows how many great hockey games I missed, especially the 2017 season when DU actually won the national championship.
Yeah.
There was no excuse for me. I moved away. I used to live in the neighborhood down there. I moved out by the airport, and I just need to get my butt down to Magnus Arena to see not only Denver hockey, but the basketball team.
Yeah.
That we're going to go and do, and this is a little tease, but on Sunday, DU's women's gymnastics team is ranked in the top 5 in the nation, correct?
Yeah, they're definitely up there. I mean, the crazy thing is about gymnastics is there's just so many subtle things. I'm learning more and more. It's kind of like the slightest thing. You could think someone had a perfect routine, but especially watching it on TV, you'll see the slightest things that the judges look for.
Oh, big time.
And it's just a very technical sport, which is just very fun to watch, and it's very interesting to see the technicalities of probably one of like the best athletes too. You look at like
they're amazing.
How they fly and do flips. It is just a great sport to watch.
Oh, it's amazing. I have had the pleasure of dating a gymnast when I was in high school and also when I was in college, and I would go to her meets and watch her, and I really got a chance to see, the floor routine. That is an incredible dance of athleticism.
Well, have you ever seen the bars? The bars are
too,
just crazy.
And the pommel horse.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many cool things that are all part gymnastics. So we will be down there on Sunday afternoon, and we will be covering it. And then we'll be following up 2 weeks later. We're going to take a break on Super Bowl Sunday, of course, and we're going to watch them again when they host Air Force. Air Force, I guess, has a pretty good squad as well, so it's going to be neat. We're going to do some diversification. Football season, college football season is over. College basketball, we're not going to really start covering until championship week, and really, we're going to delve into it during the tournament. NBA basketball, probably not going to really get into it very much until the playoffs.
Yeah.
Baseball, pitchers and catchers report in 3.5 weeks down to Arizona. We'll try to do some of that. We'll get you guys ready for the Rockies.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, we are focusing on women in sports. And that brings us to our next talk here and talking point. And Seth is going to tell us about one of the most outstanding athletes so far in the Young Olympics. Remember, the Olympics just started on the 3rd. So we're in what, day 2? Or day 3, maybe?
Yeah, we started on day 2, I believe.
Right.
Yeah.
So go ahead, Seth. Tell us what you got.
Yeah, so Winter Olympics, the United States isn't as dominant as they are in the Summer Olympics, but we have some really amazing athletes. And the crazy thing is, it's because Norway, one of the dominant forces in the Winter Olympics, they hold the all-time medal count sitting at 368. USA sitting at 2 at 305, and then nobody else is really close. Germany's sitting at 240. But these two great matchups is going to be awesome, because I just watched Norway has already had 2 gold medals. USA is not on the board yet. Therese Johaug for cross country won it for Norway for gold. And my favorite in the biathlon, Tiril Eckhoff, she dominated for Norway. And it's just a fun sport to watch.
So explain a little bit of the biathlon to some of the people that don't really watch the Winter Olympics.
Yeah, so the biathlon is they end up basically cross-country skiing with a gun on your back. I believe it goes quarter-mile increments or a half-mile increment. They go all the way. Then, after you're done sprinting to where you shoot, you have to shoot 5 targets. For each one you miss, you have to do a penalty lap, and it puts you behind.
Wow.
So you
got a whole lap?
Well, there's a little loop at each shooting range that you have to do. So it's like basically.
So
like a
how much
penalty
time does it normally take?
Usually it drops you about, if you do the loop, it could drop you anywhere from 15 to 20 seconds, which is huge.
That is huge.
Gives you some breathing room. So you want to be accurate. But the other thing is, I mean, I've seen France on the men's side they got a quick shooter, but he's not that accurate. If you can shoot perfect and shoot fast, it's just a game changer. Norway is one of the most dominant teams in this sport.
Awesome. Hey, for those of you that are old like me, if you want to see and remember a biathlon event, the James Bond movie, For Your Eyes Only, came out in 1982. Right before he was chased, and it's a famous James Bond scene where he's skiing. James Bond is skiing down the mountain, and he's being chased by all these people. Some of them are on snowmobiles, some of them are on skis, and they're shooting at him. Well, that was the biathlon. That's how it all started. The villain was actually in the biathlon.
I remember that. I wasn't alive, but I've seen the movie.
It's my favorite James Bond movie.
But yeah, going on to a lot of it, I mean, the athlete that we're going to highlight is Chloe Kim. At the age of 14, won the gold medal in X Games, youngest ever. 4 years ago, she ended up winning the gold medal at age 17 in the women's halfpipe. and she's there again this year. And you know what? She's got to be the American sweetheart favorite. She is just talented. She's been playing at a high level since she was 14 years old. What were you doing at 14?
Let me see. I was a freshman, riding my bike around, going to the day and night, and buying Pop Rocks.
Yeah, you're probably worried about like the little school dances and stuff.
Charleston shoes.
She's out there, freaking winning gold medals and winning the X Games against all these talented snowboarders.
Exactly.
So she's kind of my dark horse favorite to, be the next. Who's the athlete compared? Michael Phelps, the one that, or Shaun White.
Shaun White.
If we're going to keep with the Winter
You said
Olympics.
that in the pregame. You were saying that, or the pre-show meeting, that she could be the next Shaun White, or she's being touted as the next Shaun White.
Yeah, because she honestly already has a dominance in the sport, and she's so young. You're going to see her for at least 2, maybe 3 more Olympics.
Wow.
So I'm just really excited to see how she does this year. I believe she's in 2 events. I know she's in the
What was her
half-pipe.
name again?
Chloe Kim.
Chloe Kim. And how old is Chloe Kim?
Let's see. So she won it last time. She would just be turning about. She's 20 or 21 right now.
Okay, so she's been in. Was she in the? She did the X Games when she was 14.
And then she won the last Olympics when she was 17. So yeah, she should be about 21 right now.
Okay.
Depending on how her birthday falls.
So she's really in her prime right now.
Yeah, and from what I've heard from all analysts about her, is she is head and shoulders above anyone in her
the world.
competition. Yeah,
in
her world.
That's amazing.
And
so that's really good. We in our next segment we're going to talk a little bit in depth about Becky Hammond, and we mentioned her a little bit in our pre-show. Becky Hammond grew up in Rapid City, South Dakota. She's a Russian athlete, and she went to Colorado State University. We're going to get more in depth with her in a little bit here. What else has gotten, kind of caught your attention with the Olympics? I'll be honest, I came home from the game last night. It was about 11:30, 12 o'clock, and I put the Olympics on. I started watching, and unfortunately I fell asleep.
Yeah.
So what have you seen so far? Have you been watching?
So I watched a little bit of the skeleton this morning. It was the men's skeleton. Just crazy. If you don't know what it is, it's basically like bobsledding, but you're on a little sled and you're by yourself.
Yep.
Saw a couple tumbles, but it is one of the most interesting things to do. They're going over like 150 miles per hour.
150?
Well, because from what I read,
150?
are kilometers faster than?
Yeah, kilometers are faster.
Yeah,
so
they
it's
were going
150 kilometers. It's going to be like 80 or 90 miles an hour.
Oh, so they were going. When I last checked, the German that I was watching was going 130 kilometers down this. And now there's no real safety in this. I mean, if you fall off that sled or you hit the wall hard, that's got to be painful.
Yep.
But what I've seen so far, because I did get to watch a little bit of women's snowboarding, it was a qualification round for the women's. They were doing, it was going down, I believe it's their freestyle, but we had 3 women qualified to go to the medal run. Now, neither one are in medal in the top 3, but they qualified the first 12, and we have 3 Americans going into that.
Excellent. Now, your golden rule for kilometers, okay, if you multiply the kilometers per mile an hour by 0.6, you're going to get a pretty close, accurate miles per hour, I believe. And I'm going, somebody can fact check me, but I believe, because if you think about it, there is 0.6 kilometers per mile, right? So a 5K is 3 miles. So that's 3.1.
Is it 3.1?
Yeah, it's 3.1. Yeah, I ran cross country in high school, so. Yeah, it's 3.1 miles, which is just a little bit over 60%, which is 0.6. So we'll, you guys are home at Google, Alexa, Surrey, whatever you want to do, fact check us and find out exactly how close we are.
Yeah, comment right now so we can figure it out.
Excellent. So that brings us to the next subject, which is going to be the game tonight. We'll talk a little bit about that. We're going to highlight the game. And also, too, we don't have our timer started, so we don't know how long we've gone so far.
Yeah.
But we can go in and start talking about Becky Hammond. But let's take a small break. Let's talk a little bit about where we are right now, some of the specials that are going on. We are in the mezzanine section of Brothers Bar and Grill at the Shops of Northfield. Seth is the general manager, and we've got some great things. He talked about it yesterday on the air when we were at the arena. I believe it's fireball shots.
$5. Come on
$5.
in. We even have $8 original flavors. That's blue raspberry, grape. We still have orange, but we also added a new one. We have watermelon.
Those are the Long Island pitchers, though, right?
Yep. And
okay.
so $8 for a 32-ounce Long Island pitcher.
You can't beat it.
No.
You really can't beat it. And one thing about Fireball is if you drink too much of it, you'll have a really bad headache in the morning. It's that residual sugar. But boy, I'll tell you, it's great right before you go up and talk to somebody and maybe give them a big smooch. It makes your breath smell like cinnamon.
And one other thing for my Midwesterners out there, and for the people that do the You Betcha show, $5 Busch Lights.
Oh, is it Busch Lights or do we have Natty? Do we have Natty Ice?
We don't have Natty Ice. We have Labatt Blue. We have Busch Light, but Busch Light's on special for $5 for a 20-ounce this month.
Wow!
And so
that's what I'm drinking today.
Come on down, get a Busch Light and a Fireball for $10.
Right on.
Can't beat those prices. And especially for those of you that didn't know, we've always talked about streaming sports and whatnot. St. Cloud State and Denver, we're on national TV, and we will definitely have it on again tonight.
Very good, very good. Yeah, they're on the CBS. Which
Sports
CBS
Network.
station is it? The CBS Sports Network.
Yep.
Excellent. So, don't let that deter you from going and watching it live. Mm-hmm. I'm telling you, I've watched over the last 7 years a lot of hockey on TV, and what I saw last night from the press box at Magnus Arena was nothing less than just poetry in motion.
Well, yeah, and there's no excuse not to go to the game. If you think about it, the specials I just listed, which are honestly the best prices you'll get anywhere for
StubHub
drinks to
has
watch
tickets,
the game,
yeah,
for
StubHub,
$10.
$10.
So really, for the price of a great drink and a great shot to watch the game here, you could be at the game live,
exactly,
cheering on your team.
And you know what? They're not checking tickets that closely. So if you buy one of those $10 tickets, you can definitely get ask your attendant. Don't just go and be that guy or that gal that goes and steals somebody's seats. But middle of the second period, beginning of the third period, you know what? They're not going to mind if you go down and try to find a seat closer to the glass. I don't want to get anybody in trouble at DU, but I saw a lot of seats that were open, and then I saw a lot of kids, college kids, going down and filling them in, and much appreciated. I remember when I was playing basketball, if people got closer or came down closer to the court, we weren't complaining.
Yeah,
right.
It makes a noise. Make it an electric arena. There's nothing like having a home game with a loud crowd.
Absolutely. Now, what are your predictions tonight? Do you think St. Cloud State has a chance to beat DU? Now, DU has won 13 or 14 straight games?
Yeah. So, not in a row. They've won at home. They're pretty much untouched. But the big thing with St. Cloud State is, even with the players they're missing, they're a very capable hockey team, and I think that they're going to really remember their first period in the situation they're in. I think Denver's going to remember that too, even though they came back and won. And I expect a tighter game tonight. I could see, depends how the puck drops tonight, but I could see St. Cloud squeaking out a 1-goal win. Now, if they're going to win, it's only going to be by 1. Otherwise, okay. I see this going in Denver's favor again.
Yeah, I see it that way too. What I saw was just an amazing second period. There was more scoring in that second period. I believe that there were 8 goals scored in the second period alone. It's amazing. Remember, the game is not at 7 p.m. tonight. It starts at 6:05 or 6:07, I believe the puck drops. So you might want to get down there a little bit earlier. I know I'll be down there at 4 o'clock. Look for us up in the press box. We are just almost at center ice. Mm-hmm. And you'll see us standing up there. You can't miss the big old microphone. People were making fun of me yesterday about it, but I'll tell you what, I love our microphone. And you know what, if that's what distinguishes us, so be it, right?
We're the guys with the microphone.
We're the guys with the big microphone. All right, well, come on back for the second segment of our show. Again, we're going to talk about Becky Hammond. We're going to talk a little bit about the NFL playoff games, the 6 of the best playoff games that I can ever remember seeing consecutively in my lifetime. I don't think anybody has seen an NFL series of 6 games with any closer. They were either won by field goals or they were overtime games. And we may even talk a little bit about the Super Bowl, though, really, it's still a little early yet. I mean, I don't even think the teams aren't even there yet, are they?
For the Super Bowl, right now they're in Pro Bowl. I'm sure they're traveling by now because this is about almost 1 week out.
They're probably there now, about right now.
Well,
I know media
LA's
day,
been there.
right? Yeah,
They're
but the media day, I believe, is Tuesday, right?
Yeah.
That's usually the traditional day, and that really kicks everything off, as far as the Super Bowl festivities and stuff like that. But SoFi Stadium looks like it's an amazing venue. Remember, it's where the Rams play and also the Chargers play there. All right, well, come on back, and like I said, you're going to be really interested to hear this story. I got some inside scoop from Becky Hammond's old roommate. She told me some good scoops about Becky Hammond, so come on back.